In what ways did you connect with Liesel?
I think she's just a character that in many ways looks a little bit like me because I love to read and I think books are really important now. Even if there's a lot of iPads and iPods and the Apple just invaded the world,
Yeah.
I think we still really need to keep on reading books. And I mean, she's really strong minded, and if she has a dream, she won't give up. So I think that looks like a little bit like me.
Great. And what was your process into bringing Liesel to life?
I didn't know a lot on that subject, like the Holocaust, so I had to read a lot, read some books. I went to some bomb shelters and stuff like this, and I watched a lot of great movies like Schindler's List, The Reader, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. So it just helped me so much, and it inspired me, and I hope that when my friends are going to see the movie, it'll inspire them.
And finally, what was it like working with acclaimed actors like Geoffrey Rush and Emily Watson?
I was really stressed at the beginning because they're great actors and they're big actors, and what if they think I'm bad, you know? So that was a bit stressful, but I mean, they're both are so sweethearts, and they were like sort of my parents, really. And I think the connection that me and Jeffrey have on screen is the same when we're not shooting. We had a lot of fun, and I mean, he would always make jokes, and all the pressure that I have would disappear when I was around him.
First, how did you connect with Hans?
I read the screenplay. I had shamelessly because it is an Australian book, and I'm from Australia, and I hadn't heard of the book. But then, of course, as soon as I'd read the screenplay, I think 4 pages into the story, I was like, wow, this is a project to be part of, you know. So then I read the novel, and that was in its original source material. But for me, you know, on the list of things I've done in the theatre and on film, some of them are a little flamboyant and a little eccentric. And Hans, because he's just a house painter from a small German town during the Second World War, there was something about on the surface, his ordinariness that I really liked. And I thought this is going to be a good challenge for me to go into that place.
Okay, great. And the relationship between Hans and Liesel is so genuine. So, how did you and Sophie develop that chemistry to make it believable on screen?
You know, we didn't have a lot of preparation because on films you don't. Maybe we had 10 days to 2 weeks where we rehearsed and discussed in a kind of corporate room at the Babelsberg studios before we actually got on set. But when we started filming, we did like a month of all the scenes in the kitchen. That was because it was snowing out, it was freezing outside, so we did studio work. And one of the first things we did was her arriving at the house and coming downstairs the next morning, and how we meet, and I'm playing the accordion to communicate with her. So I got to know Sophie and Liesel sort of at the same rate, and I suppose in the back of my mind I was going, I bet you Sophie's feeling a little edgy and nervous about taking on this big role, because she carries the movie. And she sort of confessed initially that she did feel a little bit stressed and everything. So I knew it was my job as Hans and also as Geoffrey to go, relax, be cool, you're great. I'd seen Monsieur Lazare, you're a great actress, you can do this. Now just let's get on with the work, you know.
Yeah, great. And finally, why is it important for this story to be told?
It's a story that probably has been told not only, you know, academically or through analysis or through social study or whatever, many, many times. And certainly in cinema, the bigger picture has been told many, many times. But primarily, I don't think we're really, let's say, a Holocaust film, because this is from a German perspective, from a very small, very average, possibly even like, you know, it's southern Germany. It's like a Midwest town. It's like a town in outback Queensland, but it's specifically a German small community, very much a community. And it's about how a fanatical ideology and the rise of the National Socialists to such a horrific, inhuman level, you know, how that impacts through the eyes of a 10-year-old girl. And it's, you know, when I read the novel and saw this and heard the screenplay, I felt that was a really good, fresh perception, a good starting point. And, you know, the novel became such a huge hit. I think it's still on the New York Times bestseller list, or it's even gone up again since the awareness of the film has gone out. But it also became a young adult literature phenomenon. Suddenly 15, 16-year-old kids responded to it. And I find that amazing, you know, that this complex, difficult subject matter would appeal to their imaginations in such a powerful way.